Oh, buddy, what's going on, everyone? Jerome here along with Ron, and welcome to an awesome episode of Shellshock Live, everybody, coming at you. And in today's episode, we are doing something super cool. What we're doing is we're going to be talking about travels that are coming up for us both, as well as different places we've traveled to, and just places we want to go. So basically, just travel in general, a topic that I get asked a lot of on my channel, just because I tend to travel all the time. In fact, right now, I'm actually in Houston, Texas, for a convention called Mindfair, so I can get to come out here and meet some of my fans from my Minecraft channel, which is pretty cool, actually. But Ron, what about yourself? I guess we'll start with you, because you've lived a little bit, I guess, more of a traveling life, just because you were initially born in the Netherlands, and you moved around a bit. So, you know, what's been your favorite place to travel to?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to pick one specific place, just because, you know, I've been lucky enough to have been able to travel around and all that good old fun stuff. But if I had to pick one spot, it's probably this place in the Netherlands. It's called Giethoorn. It's a really small little place that I've been to a few times with my grandparents, and even went with a friend after I graduated from high school a few years back now. And what it is, it's like this really small place, and you get on these things called fluisterbootjes, and nice, that's some good.
That was the most absurdly bad Cobra luck I've ever. That was insanely bad luck. Sorry to interrupt the story. I've never had such a bad Cobra in my life. Well, anyway, go on.
Anyways, well, back to the story. Yeah, so it's this really small place, and you get on these things called fluisterbootjes, which is like a translation in English to, you know, like a whisper boat, right? So there's these really small boats with like an electric motor, and you get on and you go across the water, and then you get off and you can grab some lunch, coffee, or maybe even a beer, you know. Jerome, one of those. In the Netherlands, people like them. And, you know, so that's something, you know, we do, and it's like a really cool spot, and I think, you know, you should check it out sometime. Maybe we can go together at some point.
I would want to go to the Netherlands.
Yeah,
I definitely would.
Be nice and fun. But anyways, what about yourself? I know you've been doing a little bit of traveling too.
Yeah, so I guess my favorite one-time place that I've been ever would definitely be in Montreal. It's a mountain called Le Massif. I just absolutely loved it. I used to travel every single winter with the pack, which was a group of YouTubers and I that I was friends with. We used to every year go up to Montreal for a ski trip. And one year we went to a place called Le Massif, and it was absolutely beautiful. Well, I guess I should clarify. I personally snowboard, but it was like a ski snowboard trip. You get the point. And the thing I loved about it most was that you were just so far up into like I guess deep into Quebec, if you will, that like even your cell phone service wasn't the best. It was like frigid cold. It was like really like completely like unconnecting from things. And you'd get up to the top of the mountain, right? And while you were up there, I mean, you could look down and see just everything from like local towns nearby to much smaller towns. You could just see obviously nice forests. Everything. I mean, the view is beautiful. Everything about it. I just loved it. I fell in love with the view and just everything about it when I went there. So Le Massif was my favorite one-time place. But my favorite place to like go to on a, I guess you call it semi-regular basis, because I've been there probably like 4 or 5 times at this point in my life, is whenever I get a chance to go out to Santa Monica. I absolutely just love Santa Monica. It's such a fun vibe. It's got like the Santa Monica Pier nearby. You have Santa Monica Promenade, which I could literally walk down that thing all day long. There's just stores. There's different like restaurants you can eat at, like dessert places, anything you can imagine. There's a beach as well. You can look off in the distance and see like the California mountain ranges along the beach. It's actually like really beautiful. So I would say Santa Monica on like a semi-regular basis, but on a one-off thing, Le Massif was just unbeatable. So that was always fun. But Ron, you were asking what places do you want to tell them, or you want me to go into detail about the places that we have lined up? Because we have quite a few places lined up, especially just mostly for work travel and stuff. But
yeah, so I'm going to the Netherlands next week.
Yeah.
To see my fam bam. Then you're going to New Orleans with some friends. That's going to be good. That's going to be exciting. Then what do we got after that? Then we're going back to Texas again. We're going to Galveston, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Another little convention.
Then we have LA for E3.
LA, yep. Okay.
And I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else off the top of my head. I think that's pretty much everywhere in the next just month straight. Then back in St. Pete, I had my friend's bachelor party, which I guess isn't travel because we live there, but
it's travel for them.
Yeah, it's travel for them.
Right.
It's hometown for me. Oh, I screwed up. I meant to put it at 86 angle because I would have drilled him and I messed up. That's fine. But no, yeah. So that's like a really busy month ahead, I suppose you could say. But it'll get a little bit easier to travel after that, I'm sure. But you know, a lot of people ask us, do we look forward to these travels, and honestly, as weird as it sounds, even though a lot of it is work, so it's not like we go to these places and most of the time get to have like crazy fun or just do, well, you don't always get a chance to do it, but I still absolutely love just getting out of St. Petersburg, which is where I'm from in Florida, initially Jersey, but I moved down there a couple years ago, and just any excuse really to get out and about is just a welcome one. Like, I personally love it. Like, even while we're here in Houston, Ron, like, we barely have time to do anything but the convention. But, I don't know. I mean, I've enjoyed it already.
Yeah, no, it's always fun. Just a change of scenery, right, is really what it is.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm big on change of scenery. But besides all that, Ron, where, I guess, if you had to choose one place, where would you like to visit at some point in your life?
So it was actually pretty interesting, right? So when you were in London at the time, but I was hanging out with Ben still after Bristol. You remember when we went out to Bristol that one evening? Ben and I went to this kind of cave structure, and at the end of it, there was like this small little museum thing, right? So you walk through it, and there was all these different cave structures that they highlighted. And there's this one specific one in Iceland. It was like an hour and a half north of the capital, Reykjavik, or however you pronounce it. Yeah. And I don't know. I think it was just so cool. There's like these unique lights. They're not even real lights, but it's kind of it gives you the appearance of lights that would, I think, be really awesome to like see in person.
Okay, yeah, it sounds beautiful. I'll have to look into it. But either way, everybody, that was just a couple of quick rounds there. We have a quick message from one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back to it. Before we get further into this video, I just really wanted to thank Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring us to make this awesome show. They sent me a box to try out, and I personally love the DSC razor and Dr. Carver's shave butter. It actually worked really well for kind of shaving and all those fine areas, getting real close to the skin. It's nice. For a limited time, new members can get their first month of the Executive Razor with a tube of their Dr. Carver shave butter for only $5 with free shipping. After that, razors are just a few bucks a month. That's right, everybody, only $5 with a $15 value. In your first month's box, you get a weighty handle, a full cassette of 4 cartridges, and a tube of their shave butter. After your first month, replacement cartridges ship automatically at their regular price. Best part is you can cancel anytime you like. So go ahead, give it a try. What have you got to lose? All right, everybody, so we're ready for the next round. So, Ron, you answered last where we left off, where you would like to go to at some point in your life. So that's cool. I have a few places I want to, so I kind of break it down by international and domestic. You know, like what's local, what's not. So for me, domestically, the only places left that I haven't been to that I just really want to get out to at some point in my life, not many cities left, but Charleston, Chicago, and Portland are all places that I've never been in the U.S. that I don't know why I haven't. Like, I really have wanted to go for just years now. I just never made the time to really go out there. So I definitely want to visit all 3 of those in the U.S. But foreign-wise, I kind of want to get out to Asia at some point, specifically Southeast Asia.
Definitely. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, like specifically either Southeast Asia, so stuff like everything from Singapore all the way to Thailand, let me think where else I'd like to go to.
Vietnam,
a little bit of Vietnam, actually. Yeah, a little bit of Vietnam. But I just want to see that area of the world. It's so vastly different than what we know, at least in the U.S. or even European countries, and I've just never been out to Asia at all, period. And not to say that I wouldn't like to go to any Asian countries, like major ones. Like, I would love to still go and see like Tokyo, for instance, or even like Shanghai or Beijing. But at the same time, I really feel like I don't know. I feel like I'd gain a lot more of a cultural experience because a lot of those places are so Americanized by now. You know, I feel like I get a more cultural experience going like Southeast Asia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, because my dad's been all over there for travel, right, for work-related reasons. And my dad always says, if you're gonna go, definitely go to those places. They're just very, very unique. Like, you do things that you would never ever do over here in the U.S. And I think that's pretty awesome.
Exactly, that's what I mean. It's most of the other countries. I mean, a lot of them have become very Americanized. So it's like it's cool to go to reaches of the world where maybe that influence isn't so great. Not to say that there isn't American influence there, but just a little different culture than your own. I don't know. It sounds like something cool. What about you? Is there anywhere in the U.S. that you haven't been that you would like to go to?
I mean, just to touch on your thing, right? Chicago, I've been there a ton. I've probably spent maybe even 6 months there. in
Okay.
total. Blackhawks, tons of fun to go to those games, but that's not related to travel. But just want to throw
I mean,
that
it
in
is
there.
entertainment. That's entertainment.
It is, but that's not really why you go to a city, right? Just for a sporting event.
No, of course. But you definitely would be remiss not at least
No,
mentioning
of course not. And but I think Chicago's a great city. It's awesome. I would recommend going to that. What were we? Oh, where would I want to go in the U.S.? I think Portland would be fun to go to with you. Dude, I couldn't do it anymore.
Okay. No, but yeah, Portland's always
Yeah.
great. Portland.
Yeah, Portland's always Portland would be fun. Where else? Have you ever been to Yellowstone? I've been there. I've been to the Grand
No.
Canyon. Yellowstone was.
I
a
completely
great
forgot. Yeah,
experience.
I haven't been to any because my family growing up, we were never really outdoorsy people. So I can't think of really many natural landmarks that we've been to. Like we traveled a bit, like I've seen like national ones like in DC and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Natural though, like that just wasn't what my family did so much. So I would like to go see some.
Yeah, I've seen all that stuff. It's remarkable, right? Really
Well, I mean,
is.
yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, I would love to. I've never even seen the Grand Canyon, believe it or not.
Yeah, I've seen
and I've
it,
been out to
too.
Vegas, which is obviously very close to the Grand Canyon. Oh, that was a good placement right there. But it's like so I've made it out that way so many times, and I've never taken the time to really see some of these. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see Yellowstone, some smaller national parks.
I've been to Bryce Canyon too. It's also in that neck of the
I
woods.
have heard of Bryce
Yeah.
Canyon. Yeah.
It's known for more of the redstone, more so
okay.
even than the canyon, right? It's more orange, and not that you'd be able to tell.
Yeah, I'm colorblind, but it sounds nice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Where else? I don't know. I feel like there's just so many even smaller places that we're just overlooking because we don't even know them. That
Yeah.
would just be
And
great to see and visit and explore a little bit.
Exactly, and that brings me to a good point, everybody. For all the viewers out there, I'd love to. Oh, that was horrible. I'd love to ask. You know what? Wow, that did great. That was a good attack.
Yeah.
But I would love to ask. Where would you guys like to go? And also, how about this? Where would you like to go? And what was one of your favorite places you ever been to? If you had the chance to travel at all, or if you've been on a vacation somewhere, it could be as simple as going to Disneyland, or anything really. Just I don't know. It would be cool to see like what you all think and what your experiences have been, because everyone has different experiences. So, but that's kind of my little spiel there. I wonder if Shock Shell. I think Shock Shell's supposed to make it no matter what, but this is the ultimate test. Yeah, it really does. That's actually hilarious. That attack, it just can't miss. It just goes on forever, Ron.
OP. Nice shot.
Nice shot. Yeah, hardly.
Thanks, Ben.
Oh, man. But, yeah, besides all of that, some other things as well. I guess this is a little different, but unrelated to the place, are there any events or things like that you'd like to go to that are around the world that still obviously encompass traveling? Whether it be like a convention, whether it be...
I know you've been lucky enough to go to the Super Bowl, but I feel like the Super Bowl is one of those
Yeah.
things, just be fun to go to once. I would never go every single time because I'm not particularly passionate about one specific team, but just the experience of going, I'd love that.
Oh, yeah.
I would go to a Super Bowl. I think would be pretty awesome. But another thing that I would love to do is maybe go over to England and go over and see some like Manchester United playing Old Trafford or something like that. Those are very monumental.
I went to
landmarks,
London back in March, and I was very sad that that should have hit him. I was very sad though because I wanted to go to a soccer game out there, but they weren't playing any of the days that I was there during the week. I was like, damn, I just feel like I'm missing out on this,
Because in London there's tons and tons of teams, right? So
Oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still had an incredible time. There was so much to do and see in London that I had never experienced before, and I've been to London quite a few times. I was just kind of shocked, actually, how much there was to do and see that I had never experienced before. But it would have been great to go to a proper English soccer game. I think that would have been a lot of fun. For me, though, I think in terms of like events and stuff, I had been to the Super Bowl, like you said. I only went because it was in New Jersey, which is I was living there at the time, so it was easy. You know what I mean? It was like right around the corner. I will say, now were the tickets worth the price? No, in my opinion.
Right.
In my opinion, no, not at all. But I think at the end of the day, I'm very glad I did go.
Well, it's like I said, a one-time thing.
Yes, exactly. It is probably a never again type thing for me personally, but not saying it wasn't a fun time. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, you have no idea how astronomically pricey these days. It's a ripoff, in my opinion. I guess I can't speak for everybody when I say that, but yeah. So I don't know. That was always fun. But I've always wanted to get out to same with sports. I wanted to get out to a hockey game,
I remember I told you, right? I went to the Stanley Cup final in Chicago.
That's what I want to go to. Yes.
Oh man, when they were playing the Bruins, it's a few years ago now, but. I remember game one, triple overtime, right? And it's just the atmosphere is so fun. I honestly, that's something I would spend money on again, going to a hockey final because it's.
And I've been to plenty of hockey games.
Awesome.
I've just never been to a Stanley Cup one. I would love
hockey is always fun though, isn't it?
It's
whenever we go, it's always fun. It's fun, yeah. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, that and an NBA final would always be cool too. I feel like a lot of event-based things are usually sporting stuff.
Sounds like we're sponsored by the NHL here, just pumping them up, even though it's not the case. But I think hockey's a great time.
Yeah, no, it is. It is a great time. But I'm trying to think of any other thing that's non-sporting related. That's kind of like an event.
Music festivals would be fun.
Yeah, a music. I've never been to any EDM concerts.
So I went to the Electric Zoo in New York.
Okay.
I went there with the old poker crew from back in the.
Oh, for those that don't know about Ron and I, we do work together now, but we've been friends since high school.
Yeah.
So we've been long time friends. About 8 years now, something like that.
Yeah, Anton and Shoshi and I went. So we went. That was a lot of fun. But I think going to Ultra would be fun. I think a one-time thing. I don't know if I want to go every year. But there's this place in Belgium where they have a festival called Tomorrowland, and it's more kind of like this theatrical kind of mystical type of theme. That I think that would just be pretty cool too. Just a one-time thing, I think that would be a lot of fun. It's definitely a different experience than exploring a new city, but there's something to it.
No, that's what I said. So I was outside of the whole city traveling thing, events sometimes are big enough to bring you out to places. I mean, I've been brought to so many places in the U.S. that I sometimes forget I was even there at these places because I didn't go for the city. I went for a particular event. It's one of the things I kind of regret as well is that a lot of the time I'll go on these travels, I'll think back, I'll go, why didn't I just stay an extra day after the event was over and just explore, why? And I every time I tell myself this, and I never did anything to rectify the situation, but I mean, there's been Seattle. I've been to Seattle before for PAX Prime, and I went there for a work trip.
Probably never explored it.
Did nothing.
Yeah, I bet.
Absolutely nothing but work. And then the time was up, and I flew out, and I was on the plane. I go, why? I missed out on an entirely awesome city. I could have just spent a little more time here. And honestly, there are places
That's
people.
That's how it goes, though, isn't it? The time just gets away from you, and the same thing now, right? We're gonna leave Houston here on Sunday, and it's just on to the next thing. You get so consumed in what's going on in the immediate.
It's true, though. It's very sad. So appreciate if you get a chance to travel. It really is something special. And if you're fortunate enough to do that, and especially if work or something brings you that way, try and do whatever you can to see the city or the place that you are if it's not a city. Which, by the way, speaking of which, a lot of places we named, except for your first answer, are cities. Have you ever been to a place that's off the beaten track that was beautiful? I absolutely loved when we went to Dublin this year, and we, instead of staying in the city of Dublin, we went right outside of it to a town. It was so small that even the nearest town that was of mention was it's called Drogheda. I think.
I remember that now that you mention it. It wasn't even that long ago, but right.
And the town we stayed in was even smaller.
Yeah.
It was a town you probably never heard of. I doubt it. I would highly doubt it. And oh my god, it was absolutely beautiful. We stayed it was like an Airbnb style situation. It might have even been Airbnb, I don't know. And it was just like a house on a farmland almost. And you could just look out in the distance, and it was just green pastures, like hills and just forests.
Nobody would bother you out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean it was middle of nowhere.
Very secluded, yeah.
But it was just such a cool experience because I feel like most people wouldn't have something similar to that. Most people would just go for Dublin, which is what I've done for years and years in a row when I go out there. And this time we did something different, and I loved that. Have you ever done something like that before, or just stayed off the beaten track?
Like the typical Mexico vacation that Americans do, right?
You go to
Cancun and you lay back on the beach and call it a day. Well, so I went to Mexico with our Italian family friends, who you know.
I actually do know who you're talking about, yeah.
So, our parents are friends, and, of course, the kids, we all went along. But we
Did you see how unlucky that was?
Unlucky again. But we went through Mexico, and we did this, kind of very off-the-beaten path, definitely not safe vacation where, and I remember very well, we got, this is some sticky situations, you know, like it's a very atypical experience, but I think that's the only true way to experience it, right? Without going through like this touristic type of route.
Yeah.
So
No, that's good. That's really good. That's like you said, you nailed it on the head. When I went to Mexico, the only time I've been, I went to Cancun. I just took the touristy.
right. Nothing wrong with it. It's a nice vacation.
Oh, I mean, I got out of it what I wanted, but
can you really say that you saw Mexico?
No, absolutely not.
It's
I don't
a gross
even
misrepresentation of what Mexico is, but
yeah, no, for sure. But either way, everybody, I think that is probably going to do it for this little video right here. I do appreciate all of you coming out for this. If you did enjoy, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe as well if you're new. And apart from that, take care, friends. Thanks for watching.